Have you ever felt like anxiety is running the show? Not just showing up at inconvenient times, but actually shaping your choices, steering your life, and whispering that everything will fall apart if you stop trying to control it? Yeah, that feeling? Martha Beck calls it the lie. And the wildest part? She says anxiety might actually be a clue, an invitation to something deeper, more creative, and even joyful. In her 2025 bestseller book called Beyond Anxiety, Curiosity, Creativity, and Finding Your Life's Purpose, Martha Beck isn't telling us to eliminate anxiety. Instead, she's handing us a map of how to handle it, one that starts in the pit of dread and ends at a place most of us didn't even know we were allowed to go: genuine peace. If you want to find out exactly how she suggests we do it, stick with us. Because as we move through this video, we're going to trace that exact map, step by step, and learn how Beck believes we can use curiosity and creativity to stop anxiety from calling the shots, and actually discover our true purpose. And make sure you stay to the end, because we'll share one surprising thing Beck says you should do when you're feeling totally overwhelmed. It's something so simple, it'll stick with you for life. So let's dive in. Beck starts by making it personal. She's not theorizing from an ivory tower. She's lived through panic. Decades of it. She describes her anxiety as a kind of internal screaming. And no amount of meditation or medication has ever fully silenced it. So what finally shifted things? It was a simple question. Not, how do I fix this? But, what if this isn't something to fix at all? That tiny question flipped the switch. And that's when Beck introduces what she calls the inner lie, the false belief we've all inherited that says our worth depends on performance, productivity, and how well we manage the chaos. She walks us through how most people respond to anxiety by trying to control more planning, more perfection, more numbing. But the more we try to control, the louder the anxiety gets. It's like playing whack-a-mole with your brain. So Beck challenges this whole system. She says anxiety is actually a messenger. It flares up when we're living in ways that are disconnected from our true nature, and that's where curiosity comes in. Here's a phrase she repeats a lot in the book: anxiety freezes, curiosity frees. So the first major takeaway is this. 1. Trade control for curiosity. Beck says that instead of trying to fix anxiety, we should investigate it. She suggests asking questions like, what's the story I'm believing right now? What part of me feels unsafe? What would I do next if I were guided by curiosity instead of fear? She even uses brain science to back this up. When we approach something with curiosity, our brain shifts out of fight or flight mode and into a creative state. Literally, our nervous system calms, our attention widens, and we start seeing more possibilities. She tells the story of a client who was crippled by anxiety every time she had to speak in meetings. Instead of giving her techniques to calm down, Beck asked her to get curious. What's your body trying to say? As it turned out, the woman wasn't afraid of speaking. She was afraid of pretending. She'd been faking confidence to survive, and her anxiety was begging her to be honest. So she tried an experiment. At the next meeting, she started with, I'm a little nervous speaking up, but I want to share this idea. And just like that, the panic melted. Curiosity opened the door to authenticity. Now that leads to the second big idea in the book. 2. Stop pretending. Start following your true nature. Beck believes anxiety shows up when we're out of alignment with our deeper self, what she calls the essential self. It's the part of us that knows what we actually want, not what we should want, not what culture tells us to want, but what feels right in our bones. This is where the book gets beautifully weird in the best way. Beck talks about how your body is a compass. If something makes you feel light, expansive, and alive, it's likely aligned with your purpose. If it makes you feel tight, nauseous, or exhausted, it's probably not. She even offers a daily practice she calls body truthing. You pause, breathe, and ask, does this feel warm or cold? Not metaphorically, literally. Your body often knows before your mind does. This is what Beck did in her own life. She left a prestigious academic job at Harvard. She came out as gay in a conservative religious community. She moved to the wilderness of California and started tracking animals and writing books. Not because it was smart or safe, but because her body said yes. So here's the next takeaway. 3. Let creativity lead the way. Beck argues that we're all creative by nature, not just artists and writers, but humans in general. And the fastest way out of anxiety is to make something. When we create, even something small like doodling, rearranging furniture, or baking bread, we send a message to our nervous system. I am alive. I am not helpless. I can shape my world. There's a moment in the book where she compares anxiety to a river current. If you fight it, you drown. But if you float, if you allow it to carry you with awareness, it might lead somewhere amazing. One of her favorite exercises is what she calls creative microbursts. These are short bursts of joyful making, just 10 or 15 minutes a day. They don't need to be good. They just need to be yours. Which brings us to one of the most practical parts of the book. 4. Use wordless knowing. This sounds a little mystical, but Beck insists it's totally human. Wordless knowing is that gut feeling, the inner yes. It's the moment you walk into a place and just know it's right or wrong. She says this kind of knowledge gets drowned out by anxiety because we're constantly trying to think our way to safety. But thinking can't always solve anxiety. Sometimes it just makes it worse. So Beck offers a shift. Instead of asking, "What should I do?" ask, "What feels true?" She includes a story of a man who hated his corporate job but had no idea what else to do. She asked him to write down what made him feel good as a kid. He remembered drawing maps, like obsessively. So just for fun, he started doing it again. A year later, he'd launched a small business making custom treasure maps for kids' birthday parties. The anxiety didn't disappear overnight, but it transformed. It became fuel. That brings us to the final, maybe most counterintuitive idea. 5. Anxiety is part of your purpose. Beck argues that anxiety isn't here to ruin you. It's here to redirect you. She says, if you feel trapped in a life that doesn't fit, anxiety is the alarm clock. The goal isn't to smash the alarm. It's to wake up. She closes the book with a gentle, almost whisper-like message. You're not broken. You're being called. So, what are we supposed to do when anxiety feels overwhelming? Beck gives one tip that sounds almost too simple. Get curious about what's in front of you. Literally, look around. Describe what you see. Notice what draws your attention. That shift, from spiraling in your mind to observing with your senses, can break the anxiety loop. She also encourages something she calls one true thing. Each day ask yourself, what's one small thing I know for sure right now? It might be, I'm thirsty, or I love trees, or I hate this chair. Whatever it is, write it down. That practice builds trust in your own knowing. It brings you home. And maybe that's the real point of this book. That going beyond anxiety doesn't mean getting rid of it. It means befriending it, listening to it, and letting it guide you towards something more honest, more alive, more you. So, if you've ever felt like anxiety was a dead end, Beck is saying, it's actually a doorway. Now, before you go, here's the part where we want to hear from you. What's one thing your anxiety has taught you about yourself? Drop it in the comments. We would love to hear your story. And if this video helped reframe anxiety in a way you've never heard before, give it a like and subscribe for more deep dives on game-changing books. And remember to share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.